Okay, so now we're moving on to functional theory. So you'll remember that functional theory is one of the large macro theories, and it argues that everything serves a function or serves a purpose. So in this case, deviant is also functional. Deviant serves a purpose, it does something, it serves some social need or some social purpose. There are at least 4 different functions that deviance, or what I mean by deviance is people who break the rules or labeling people that break the rules. This whole phenomena of rule breaking serves at least at least 4 social purposes. The first is that it makes very clear what the moral boundaries are. It says that, so like imagine you're in the circle in kindergarten and somebody breaks the rules and the teacher says, okay, that's it, Tommy, you go sit in the corner. She has made very clear that Tommy's behavior has crossed the line, or maybe you hear it in the context of parenting that we have to establish boundaries, right? And that these boundaries, that you have to make clear where the rules are. So that's one function. And at the same time, when I put Tommy in the corner, it says to the children who are still in the circle, we are good rule followers, right? So it sets the boundary, and it establishes we-ness at the same time, or solidarity of the group that is still in the circle. So we're good kids, Tommy is a bad kid, and that's because he crossed that line. The third one, and this is why I'm a rule bender, is because it promotes social change. Nothing changes, nothing gets better as long as we're all just going along following the rules or the expectations. It's only when we push against them, it's only when we stand at the corner and say, hey, we draw attention to a situation, we make a big noise, we complain, we break some rule. It's when we break rules that we notice there were even rules there in the first place, right? So I'm a big fan of deviance from the point of view that it promotes social change, and that's the third function. And the fourth one, which I kind of have already hinted at, and that is that deviance is a natural outcome of people who feel like they have no other, of being perfectly socialized. So again, if I'm socialized in a culture where I'm supposed to want nice things and social status, and if I'm not getting those things, well, the fact that I'm willing to break the rules to get them says that I have learned the rules about the things that I'm supposed to want in society. I am perfectly socialized to know I'm supposed to want to have nice things and a nice house and relationships. And if I can't get that, well, I know that this is what I'm supposed to want. So I am going to do whatever I have to do to get those things that I know I'm supposed to want. There's a couple other theories I want to point out, or functional theories, and one of them is called strain theory. Strain theory is very similar to what I just was describing, but strain theory says that people, again, we assume that we're all socialized to want the same things. For the most part, most of us, all of us here, we are acquiring those social things. We're acquiring income, occupation, social status. We're following what's called the institutionalized means. We're following the culturally appropriate path. We're going to school, we're getting a job, we're earning legal income, and that's how we're buying the nice things that we're surrounding ourselves with. We're meeting people in socially appropriate ways. We're getting the cultural goals by following the institutionalized means. But if I have tried to do this and I am not successful in school, or I'm not able to keep a job, or maybe I live in a racist place that won't hire me for the way that I look or my age or whatever, this can be very frustrating, and I experience strain. And this frustration and the strain, because I'm trying to get what society tells me I'm supposed to get, creates what I believe is a German word, what is referred to as anomie, or normlessness. I'm trying to get there, but your rules aren't working for me. So to hell with your rules. Just to hell with your rules. I am going to do something completely different, and I am going to rewrite the rules. And I will become deviant because your rules, your system, your society is rigged and it's not working for me. So I'm going to do something else. Maybe I'll go live under a bridge. Maybe I'll become a prostitute, whatever. But I'm not going to do it your way because your way is just not working for me. Two other on the following, as we're moving through if we're moving through the handout here, two other functional theories, and one of them is referred to as illegitimate opportunity structure. And what this says is, if I am able to acquire my cultural goals by following the path, the legitimate, socially acceptable path, going to school, getting a job, savings account, all of those things, right? That's the legitimate opportunity structure. I get a legal job, I earn legal money, but I might find that either I don't have access to this legitimate opportunity structure, or maybe I've been given this opportunity that's outside the legitimate opportunity structure. So, like, if I'm looking at a choice where I can work for $9 an hour at McDonald's, or my uncle offers me $100 to ride my bicycle across town with this package, I don't know what's in this package. He told me not to ask any questions, and I'll drive this pack, and I can make $100 riding my bicycle for 6 blocks or $9 an hour working at McDonald's. I might take that path instead. That one would be illegal. It would be illegitimate, but it's or gangs. Gangs are an example of a structure where if I follow the rules, I can get status and I can move up through the gangs. No, there's a great TED Talk called, it compares gangs with McDonald's, right? And he says that the lowest status person works on the front, the same way the McDonald's cashier who interacts with the public, right? They're the lowest status workers. And then as you move up through the organization, you'll become store manager or district manager. And the same thing kind of happens with as you become these higher levels of managers, you move further and further away from the actual customer. And the same thing happens in gangs and drug dealers, right? The lowest level drug member or gang member is the one actually selling the drugs on the corner. But as you move up through the structure, you do less selling, you do less handling of the drugs, you do more of the decision making. Those are what we call opportunity structures, structures of opportunities to have more status or more power. It's legitimate when it's legal, it's illegitimate when it's illegal. And then finally, white collar crime. The video that I have asked you guys to watch, which is about Medicare fraud. This is an example of white collar crime. So white collar crime is basically anything that's nonviolent crime, right? And specifically, that is an example of corporate crime because it is criminal activity. The people are breaking the law, but they're doing it under the structure or creating the appearance of a corporation or a company. So what they're doing is illegal, but they're doing it within a legal system, within a corporate system. And so we call that corporate crime or white collar crime. And basically the one video talks about how this is a $60 billion it's a lot of money, industry that this kind of criminal activity, which is a whole lot more money than the kind of crime that you see on the street. If somebody's trying to, break into your house and steal your TV, they're not going to get $60 million, right? Still on TVs. So, but what you find in jail is more of the street kind of crime, this low level criminal activity, as opposed to this high dollar sort of criminal activity. And that is one of the things that we'll talk about on the conflict theory video. And that's the difference between, when we get to the discussion about conflict theory, how the kind of criminal that we typically think of or the ones that we see on TV are faces of lower status individuals. The high status, the powerful individuals are accused of different crimes and have different consequences for their crime. But that'll be in the next video.